Have a motion to return to open session from closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Carey, second by Alderman Ferrari to return to open session from closed session. We'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff. Here. Mankiewicz.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Motion approved. Okay, now we're in open session. Is there any further discussion on anything? Have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second. Mankiewicz and Putoff. Aye.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Carey, second by Alderman Putoff. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Here.
Call the regular city council meeting Wednesday, April 17th, 2013 to order. Clerk call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Mankiewicz.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mazak.
Here.
Mayor Harrell.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. Have any public comment cards?
No, Your Honor.
Committee reports. Council and Finance, Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke.
Just a few items that I had, and then Alderman Radke has a few items. Deb Noonan came from the Friends of Pool to request that the city do release $643 from the pool fund, kind of for startup funds for the upcoming fun fair on June 15th. Committee had no objections to that. Don't believe the council had any objections to that. And that money would be to purchase the moonwalks and those items for the fun fair. And we certainly are grateful for the work of the Friends for Pool committee members and the efforts that they make. Couple item, just another item, just through some contract negotiations. Once we get anything a little more concrete, we will share that with the council. Alderman Radke?
Yeah, the only thing I have from finance is I passed out a copy of the current ordinance number 4790, authorizing the execution of an ambulance service agreement by and between the City of Peru and Peru Voluntary Ambulance Service. A few meetings ago, maybe a month ago, the ambulance service sent the city some correspondence indicating that they wanted to increase the city's monthly contribution to the ambulance service. We're currently contributing $4,000 a month, and they are requesting $5,000 a month. That $4,000 has not been raised in approximately 7 years. So what I'm going to recommend from the Finance Committee is that the city attorney update this ordinance to reflect a $5,000 a month contribution with a 3% yearly increase, so we don't have to revisit this again. And the only other thing on this agreement is that it has a 90-day out clause, and every other agreement between the city and any other entity has a 30-day out clause, so I'd like to see that reduced to 30 days. And you can get that drafted up, and we'll put it on the agenda for Monday.
Okay, anything else from the Council and Finance?
I have nothing else.
Public Works, Alderman Waldorf, Alderman Lukosius.
Yes, Your Honor. The electric department would like to go out for sealed bids for a new or remanufactured 28 megawatt transformer for Peru Rail. We had talked about this one other time, and I'd like to get that on the agenda for Monday to go out for sealed bids.
Can do.
That's all for electric.
Your Honor, I have one announcement from the Superintendent of Public Works, Gary Bleck. The spring appliance cleanup is scheduled for the week of April 22nd through the 26th. City crews will be picking up refrigerators, stoves, washers, dryers, water heaters, and the like. Residents are asked to place their items at the curb on the regular garbage day. If that hasn't already been in the paper, could we get that in the paper? Thank you. That's all I have.
Public Health and Safety, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Perez.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve statement of intent and all hazard mitigation planning.
I'll second that.
Have a motion from Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Perez to approve the statement of intent and all hazard mitigation planning. We'll do a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Mankiewicz.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Chief Burnaby?
Chief Burnaby, can you touch on that a little bit, what we just passed there for the public?
I'd be happy to. I don't have my file in front of me. Everybody should have a memo explaining the process of North Central Council of Governments acted on behalf of, I think, every community, here it is, in LaSalle and I believe Putnam County. And several years ago, we did participate in this, like most other communities. It's a 5-year hazardous mitigation plan in the event of a natural or man-made disaster that could possibly affect the communities. And it's time under state guidelines with pass-through potential money of the federal government, FEMA and on the federal level, and IEMA on the state level, that you have to have these plans in place to be eligible for any federal reimbursement in case of a natural disaster. Now, whether or not that would happen or not, obviously, we don't want a disaster. We also don't want to, unfortunately, have something like that happen and find out we're not going to be eligible for federal reimbursement. So North Central is going to participate and lead the process to redo this hazardous mitigation plan, and they're going to charge communities several $100s for their work, except a couple of the bigger communities. I know Ottawa and Peru have been asked to participate with me and Fire Chief King to participate at the table from kind of the ESDA standpoint and the fire and police standpoint, and we've agreed to do that. So we'll be going to a series of 5 or 6 meetings. It's not going to be that big of a commitment, but so we're going to participate in that upon their request, and we do have to have this thing passed, which we just did, to participate, and there won't be any cash outlay, but we'll be certified, so to speak, and God forbid something happens, we'll be eligible for reimbursement.
Thank you. I have no report from the fire. Chief Duncan, do you have anything? Okay. We are scheduling a public health and safety meeting. Thought that was going to be May 1st, but I believe our first meeting in May is going to be the 6th. That's correct. Okay. So if we could put that down for May 6th at 6:30, that's okay with Alderman Ferrari. I had sent out that message. Maybe we could discuss security and safety for that, for the upcoming concerts. We could put that on the agenda for that. And
a quick note, Alderman, that will be the swearing-in night as well.
Oh, okay.
So if it shouldn't conflict, except for, people with
Is that regular
families.
time?
Correct, that
Okay.
regular meeting time.
I think 6:30 would still work. I have nothing further.
Public property, Alderman Mankiewicz, Alderman Mazak.
Yes, Your Honor. We've got a memo from you to Brownie Troop 1587, recognizing them, their troop leaders Christine Mitchell and Becky Dornick. On Sunday, April 14th, approximately 20 to 25 of the Brownies and their parents pick up 10 bags of garbage at McKinley Park. A personal thanks from the entire City Council to Brownie Troop 1587 for their assistance in keeping our parks clean. Along with that, the Prue CSO 2 weeks ago on a Sunday morning selected 15 bags of trash from North Peoria Street, the back door to the mall area, which they do every spring and every fall. They go up there. They go up early on Sunday morning to avoid the rush hour of the cars going north on Peoria Street. But and they had a good turnout. About 20 men went up there, and anyone's invited again in the fall. Just wear your hip boots. The water gets pretty deep up there in the swamps. And last but not least, there was an email received today, I believe, tentatively the $1.3 million approval of money from the federal government for the parallel taxiway, which hopefully the final approval will come 1 October of this year, and that'll be for next year's budget, if we don't get sequestered for it and all that. So that's all I have. Alderman Mazak?
I just just wanted to know, Alderman Putoff a couple weeks ago asked about going out or requesting bids for landscaping. Did that letter go out, and to how many companies, and when is it supposed to be in by?
They're still working on them, Alderman Mazak. Mr. Bleck is putting together all of those, I guess, specifications and needs. After that's completed, then he will seek out proposals from contractors.
That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, report to city attorney.
Yes, Your Honor. First was an ordinance approving the budget for the fiscal year May 1 to April 30, 2014. Peter Dean, budget presented by the budget officer for fiscal year May 1, 2013 and April 30, 2014, both inclusive, a copy of which is here to attach, hereby approved. The ordinance with the attached budget shall be promptly filed with the LaSalle County Clerk. Ordinance shall be effective immediately from and after its passage and approval.
Do you have a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
The motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to approve the ordinance is written in red. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I'd just like to make a comment. I've made several requests over the past several months in hopes of scheduling roundtable meetings and to discuss the budget along with strategic planning for the city. There are several items within the budget that I can't approve of, so I'll be voting nay on the budget. Nothing further.
Any further comment? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ankiewicz.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Nay.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Next, did all of you get my letter in the Chicago Tribune article concerning the internet service providers of hotel, motel taxes? Okay. What the idea is, companies such as Expedia, Travelocity, any of the internet providers of travel services, you can go ahead and book a hotel, motel room on those services. So say they charge $100 to make it easy for a night at Holiday Inn Express. What they do is retain their commission, whatever it might be, and then remit the net amount to the hotel chain. So say they keep $10 and then remit $90. Well, the hotel motel taxes are only paid on the $90 that is remitted. So these internet service providers have not been paying hotel motel taxes on the commissions that they retain. It is thought, now all these suits throughout the country have not all been successful. If you read the Chicago Tribune article on that, and they're vigorously contested. I spoke with Clifford Law Office in Chicago, is kind of heading up the Illinois portion of these litigation, but the nationwide, the litigation is essentially being handled by three Georgia firms, Fennell Law Group, the Bird Law Group, and the Drongier law firm, the latter one out of Rome, and then the latter two out of Atlanta. And then the Clifford Law Offices. And my relationship with them, frankly, is my son's been a law clerk there, but Bob Clifford's been the #1 rated lawyer by his peers in Illinois for the last couple of years. I know he was in 2012, but they're kind of handling it there. And what is being proposed is said in that letter, is a contingent fee agreement to try to get money out of these internet providers for those hotel motel taxes. So in the instance we had, if they retain that, maybe it's another 40 cents. For Peru, I don't think that's going to be a big number, if it's any number at all. Yeah, just don't know. You know, I mean, a place with a convention center and that, you know, it may be significant if there's a recovery. Now, they've had some success, some failures on a national basis in these type of lawsuits, if you read the Chicago Tribune article on it. What is being proposed is a straight contingent fee contract. If there's no recovery, there's absolutely no cost to the city, including costs that are advanced. You know, you have to advance costs out of your pocket for complaint filing fees, service fees, deposition fees, all those kind of things. If there is any recovery, it would be, if it can be done in 30 days by demand letter, I suspect it probably would not, it would be 25% of the gross recovery plus advance costs. If it goes beyond that, it would be the traditional 1/3 plus advance costs. Those attorney's fees, if any are recovered, would be split evenly between the Fennell Law Firm, the Bird Group, the Croninger Firm, Clifford Law Office, and our law office. We're only involved for some of the downstate municipalities to see if they want to go along. It's an absolutely no-cost deal, so you can't lose anything. I don't think it affects the local motels because the ones you're going after are the Travelocities, the Expedias, those that are doing the internet providing. So that's what the ordinance is to authorize a legal services agreement upon those terms.
Do we have any information in regard to what percentage of?
We wouldn't have a clue.
Okay.
Is it,
And that's what you find out through discovery.
is it based on then past, like a class action, it'd be based on past performances or future?
Well, one, it would not, well, that's a good question, and let me go over that because I missed that. One, it would not be a class action because every hotel motel ordinance is different. So it's not a basis for a class action suit, and everybody would have to be, you know, individually signed up and a separate party plaintiff. But to answer your question on that, there is a provision in that, because what if somebody hasn't ever been paying? And let me go over that whole bit on the fee provisions. It's if the attorneys receive a settlement within 30 days of an initial demand letter, the attorney shall receive a contingent fee of 25% of the gross recovery as defined, plus cash expenditures advanced and expenditures incurred on behalf of the city. If it's not received within 30 days, they shall receive upon judgment after trial or any ensuing appeals or settlement with respect to the defendant group, 33%. And then it has a provision that in the event gross recoveries means damages, tax revenues, interest and penalties recovered by the city, because you know you have penalty provisions in there if people haven't been filing the returns plus interest, through the date of settlement or final judgment, but not indefinite prospective collections of tax revenues, interest or penalties that become due after the date of final judgment or settlement. To the extent that defendants pay a lump sum settlement to resolve claims for both back taxes and to avoid registering and paying taxes for some number of specified years going forward, as they have done in other places, the amount of lump sum payment shall be the gross recovery. If the defendants pay a lump sum for taxes, penalties, and interest due as of the date of settlement and agree to register and start paying taxes prospectively, the gross recovery shall be the lump sum payment and a sum equal to the annual amount of taxes actually paid by such companies for the next 4 years as compensation for bringing about the change and leading to permanently increased revenues.
So in essence, this is based on recovery, not future hotel. For example,
No, it could for 4 years. On future, if they've never registered and never paid. So if you had somebody like Expedia, who's obviously never registered, never paid, and then they do agree to start complying, yes, it would, gross recovery would be a third for each of the next 4 years, too.
Doug, how are the advanced costs determined? Are they prorated by any,
Well, they would be.
split equally by every municipality in the city?
No, it would be, well, I can just tell you how it's done generally. Like if we have two plaintiffs against one defendant, okay, the filing fees would be split 50-50. The service fees would be 50-50. Deposition fees 50-50.
I guess I'm concerned that if we don't have a large settlement, we could end up splitting more of the advance fees than we actually...
Yeah, but your advance fees are only for your suit, you know what I mean? So I don't, you know, I really don't think this is going to be a big deal at all. You know, in fact, I was talking to them, you know, they are interested in getting Peoria, and you know, communicated with Mayor Ardis on that. But and Bolingbrook and a number of those have already gone along and brought in that litigation. And believe me, this isn't anything there's any guarantee in success. If you read the Chicago Tribune article, frankly, they've been generally unsuccessful, but other places they have, and I think that's why the Atlanta firms have associated with big name Chicago firm with respect to Illinois anyway.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written in
Well,
red?
here is the ordinance. Peter Dane, city employs the attorneys that was those 5 firms to conduct and administer the following services to diligently pursue unremitted sales taxes due and owing the city under the hotel and motel rental taxes amended and all other applicable provisions for hotel and lodging accommodations by corporations who offer, sell, and rent such accommodations over the internet. And assist the city in filing, in pursuing non-filing audit assessment or other administrative processes as needed in the filing of litigation proceedings as necessary to make those collections. The mayor and city clerk and each of them are authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the city. Anybody have any other questions on it? Again, I don't think this is a big deal, but there's absolutely no downside.
Won't cost us a dime.
That's correct.
No way. No how.
No way.
Won't cost us anything.
Well, the net, it'll cost you only if there's a recovery.
Only, so we can't lose.
Can't lose, no.
We're
And it isn't money you're getting now. I don't think Travelocity and Expedia or hotels or none of the rest of them are paying motel taxes now, are they, Keith?
Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written in red?
So moved.
Second.
Been a motion from Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Waldorf, to approve the ordinance as written in red. Is there any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Nankiewicz.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved. Any unfinished business? New business, I'm asking for a motion for the reappointment of Tom Payton to the Police Pension Board for a 2-year term beginning May 1, 2013 and ending April 30, 2015.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
I have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Perez for the reappointment of Tom Payton to the Police Pension Board for a 2-year term beginning May 1st, 2013 and ending April 30th, 2015. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Nankiewicz.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved. Asking for a motion for the reappointment of Dave Bartley to the Fireman Pension Trust Board for a 4-year term ending April 2017.
So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Mankiewicz, second by Alderman Ferrari for the reappointment of Dave Bartley to the Fireman Pension Trust Board for a four-year term ending April 2017. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Mankiewicz.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved. Any proclamations tonight? Any further new business from anyone? Any proclamations?
No proclamations.
Petitions, communications?
I do have one from Cops for Cancer. They're a local nonprofit organization and would like to request permission to hold a parade on Saturday, July 13th at 1 p.m. to celebrate their 10-year anniversary of the organization. They'd like to utilize the LaSalle Peru Homecoming Parade route, and they'll line up as has been customary at Rotary Park. Would like no parking signs to be posted. And they'd be thrilled if we entered a float.
And that's at Saturday, July 13th at 1 p.m.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Perez to receive the communication and grant the permission for a parade for the Cops for Cancer for their 10th year anniversary. July 13th, 2013 at 1 o'clock on the traditional route that LaSalle Peru uses for their homecoming parade. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Just like to thank Alderman Ferrari for putting that float together for us. Thank you, Alderman.
I will do that.
I'll help you.
No further communications, Your Honor.
Okay, public comment. Do we have any public comment at this time?
No, if I could go back, just for the benefit of the public on this hotel motel tax, the initial suit in Illinois, all of you have this from the Chicago Tribune article, was Warrenville, Bedford Park, Oak Brook Terrace, Oak Lawn, Orland Hills, Rockford, and Willowbrook.
And they are going back to the 1990s on that. Is that correct, Doug?
Yeah, they'll go back from the date of the ordinance. But, whether there's any at all, you won't be able to find that out until they file suit and get it through discovery.
No, any public comment? Okay, do we have a motion to retire from open session to closed session where the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body is being considered, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to move from open session to closed session. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Mankiewicz.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved.